Welcome back to Lyle's Garage. And today we're going to be doing another thermostat. Stick around. The thermostat that we're going to put in today is for a 1975 Ford F-150 truck. And it's got the 360, so it's a Ford big block. So same procedure will apply for the 390, 400, 700, 9,000, so on and so forth. So there it is right there. So step number one, just like always, is draining the radiator a little bit. The thermostat is actually up here under this hose, so you don't have to drain a lot. If we come on down here, you see that little butterfly valve. Let's see if I can point to it. Right there. You're going to want to open that up and put a drain pan. If you save the coolant, then you can just put it back in later. Just make sure it's in a clean receptacle. So I already tore this out before I realized I was supposed to be doing the video, so just pretend like I didn't take this out. So here's our thermostat. We got two bolts here, and we got to disconnect this hose. We got a hose clamp with like a, I don't know, 5/16. Pop that guy off. We got two 1/2-inch bolts there. Those guys come out, and then that little neck comes off. And there it is. In this little neck here, the coolant goes in and comes by this guy, which is the thermostat. And if we look, we can see that this one is a 180 degree thermostat because it says 180. And this is the part we're replacing. It's important to get all the old gasket off and then get your mating surfaces all cleaned and freshened up. So don't put things back on that look like this. So one way to tell if your thermostat's going bad is it takes a while for your vehicle to get to the warm, regular operating temperature. So with my truck, for example, I would turn it on in the morning. It's maybe 70 degrees, 60 degrees out, and drive the truck. I would drive about 5 or 6 miles to my gym every morning, and it's still, the temp gauge would not even be up to the T on the temp. So it'd be down here. So what's happening is my thermostat is like a door, and it's a temperature sensor door. The door only opens when it gets to 180 degrees on this one, right? Here's our one from the other Pathfinder. I don't know why I saved that. Anyways, so as soon as your engine starts, it's cold and it's full of, fluid in the little liquid jacket thingamajigger. And this cuts it off so that way the fluid doesn't go into the radiator. So that way the engine, as it's warming up, can heat up that liquid because the engine runs best when it's warm. After the engine gets warm enough to 180 degrees, which is a pretty decent running temp, this little spring guy will open up that little door, and that lets the water go from the engine inside of the motor where the coolant runs into the radiator. And what that does is that helps your vehicle run better on cold days because the vehicle runs best when it's warm, and if you let all that cold water in, it's going to take forever to warm up. So the fact that my truck was not warming up until, 10 miles were driven is a sign that this guy is just stuck open. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean all the boogers off of here first. Maybe give it a little make it look nice. Maybe not, we'll see. And then we'll throw in our new stuff. Every time you do this, you should put one of these gaskets on. And if you go to auto parts places, if you go to, what is it called, AutoZone, they're basically ran by little kids that don't know a darn thing. Now, I was a kid once, and I'm not trying to say kids are all idiots, but the ones at AutoZone are. And so you got to be real gentle with them and just try a bunch of different outlets. They'll want to know what model car you have, and then they'll try and tell you that the motor you have doesn't work and doesn't exist in the universe. Just try a different avenue. Try the lady. If there's a lady working at these stores, they always seem to know more. I don't know why. Anyways, AutoZone has these guys in their lifetime warranty. And then this is like $2 for the gasket and has a year warranty. So, I mean, if you mess that up right away, it's nice to know that you can get another one for free. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. So we're gonna go ahead and put it in the old kitchen pot and douse it with a whole bunch of solvent or something, and then get my wire brushes. This little temp vacuum sensor thing, you probably don't want to get anything in those guys. So what you can do is you can get some of these, I don't know what they're called, rubber nipples maybe. Some of these guys can just be shoved on over those holes to keep the fluids from getting in there, because there's definitely going to be something in there that wants to break easily. So let's not do that. Okay, we got our thing all rubber nippled off. I'm going to go with some of the easy off. I got a whole crap load of this stuff, and I intentionally got it, or initially got it rather, to take fake chrome finish off of old trim, and it didn't work at all because they changed the formula to make it not work. But it does work really well on this crap. You just spray it everywhere, and then you scrub it, spray it again, hose it off, and it should be like new. Breathe that crap.
Who's a good girl? Who's a good little girl? Yeah, I got a smile for me. Yeah, your little funny smiles.
So it looks like it all came out pretty well. Everything's a little bit cleaner now. So one area that you really want to be weary of is this lip right here. So the thermostat's got to sit in there pretty well, so you want to make sure you clean that crap all out of there. So I'm going to get a little, I don't know, ice pick type tool, an owl 90-degree one, Harbor Freight special. Scrape the crap out. So we'll get this guy in here and we'll run him around these edges like we're a dentist. Like so. So you can see it's all clean in that crack now, as is evident by that shine. You can also see there was quite a bit of junk in there. Let's see if we can get in close enough. Maybe you can see like cells. No? Okay. And if at first you don't succeed, you can just dust it off and try it again. Also, another good way to get these clean is using the bench grinder. So, as you can see, the wire wheel on the bench grinder really does a nice job at just cleaning this bastard up. Even got some of that stuff all shinied up there. But all that's just for looks. Let's get down to the important stuff. So, many are wondering about which way does this go. Well, luckily this tells us to radiator. So that means when you stick your thermostat in, the spring should always be back in the engine, because that's what you want to test for the temperature. So if you put it in this way, which is I think how I might have taken it out of the vehicle. I don't remember. I'd ripped it out and then I set it all up and staged it for you guys, and I think it might have been in backwards, which is why it probably doesn't work. So you gotta put that guy in, not like this, but like this. Right? We all understanding that? Okay, a couple of things is you have to have it this way because you want the spring and the temp sensor in the engine. Because when the engine gets hot, you want it to open up. If it's this way, well, it's going to take forever for this to get hot enough to boil the water that's sitting in here to open that. So it goes that way. Another important thing, it has to really sit flush in this. So like if you look right now, there's just the littlest bit of rock. So turn it, let's see. And that seems to have solved it that way, so it seems to be this way. So I'm pretty flush in here, so what I'm thinking is probably something on this china part, or that's right, China. Or it could be that Chinese part. I'm not certain why this was ever replaced to begin with, but whatever. So what we'll probably do is we'll put a little dab of some gasket sealer right in here. And then we'll go ahead and we'll put some gasket sticker stuff on here to put the gasket on, and then we should be good to go to put it all back together. When you use the gasket maker stuff, you don't really want a ton. We're just trying to compensate for like a millimeter of maybe, I don't know, out of balanceness. We'll fill in that little hole there too, huh? But basically, you don't really want to goop this crap on ever. You just want to smear light coats. And this little overhang flash, get that out of there. All that's going to do is squirt in there and break off and float around. Okay, so we got a fine little amount on there. And then we'll go ahead and we'll put our thermostat in there, just like so. And we'll try to get him so he's not moving. There we go, that feels pretty solid right there. Now's a good time to make sure you got the right gasket. So we want that to line up pretty well. That looks pretty good. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and seal the gasket on there, but not using this horrible crap, okay? Once you put this stuff on, gaskets don't like to come off, which I guess is kind of the point of that stuff. But I like this stuff. A friend of mine just turned me on to this. It's called Gasca Cinch or Gasca Kinch. Anyways, it's got this cute lady on here falling down on her butt. I'm not certain why. And it's got the brush in the can. So we're just going to be taking this and kind of just dabbing a little bit on there. Not much. Alright, so you can see I got a real fine coat of that stuff. And I mean fine like thin, and fine like it's awfully handsome. Look at that. Okay, I've got to stop breathing these fumes. They're getting me high. Okay, we got the gasket on there. Got the holes all lined up nice. Looks pretty good. Okay, this takes about 5 minutes to set up. And then what that'll do is that'll keep that gasket from falling off when you're trying to put it back together. And that should save me and my soul from a lot of sinful cussing. So I thought I'd show you guys kind of a little example of how this works with the thermostat. So I'll get that little torch going. And here's the old thermostat. You can see that the door is closed. But as I sit here and heat that guy up, let's see what happens. Well, there it goes. Well, you can see, that thing got hot and now it is open. And as soon as this little copper plug gets cool again, it'll relax and close the door. So obviously it looks like this one must have worked still, so I think this probably was just turned in backwards. That's possible. The guy I got it from is an old guy. He was the original owner of the truck. And I've noticed a lot of things just kind of a little bit screwy, like maybe a gentleman that's getting a little bit tired did the work on. But whatever. So I'll save this guy and burn my finger on it a little bit, and maybe it'll work someday when I need one in a pinch. So I got it all bolted up nicely. As you can see, with the 1/2 bolts done. Last thing we got to do is put the radiator hose back on. Put the clamp on, and then we'll put the fluid back into the reservoir. And we also got the vacuum lines I took off that go down here. I don't remember where they're at. We'll find them later. Last thing to do, take your radiator coolant, dump it back in the radiator. Well, that concludes another episode of Lyle's Garage. Thanks for joining me. Hope you learned something about thermostats today. And come back again soon. I got another video I'm going to do on the truck. We're going to be putting on this beautiful Holley carburetor. Holley. So I hope you can join me next time. Again, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.